Well, as promised, this is part two of my capo tip. And the last one was why to use a capo in worship. Now I just want to talk to you about how to choose a capo because there's a bunch of them out there. And I've been doing this for a long time, so I've bought a bunch of them. And so I just have some tips and ideas for what I feel works best. And then you could do some research yourself and see exactly what will work best for you. First of all, I'll start with what I really enjoy using, and that is the Kaiser capo. I really like Kaiser because they have a little cross on their capo, and when you go to their website, they have this little cross. I haven't done a lot of research into that, but either someone really likes crosses or someone's a believer over at Kaiser. And basically, the reason that I like Kaiser so much is because I keep it on the headstock of my guitar, and it's just so easy in worship to just one hand bring it off and put it back on. A similar one to this that I don't have today, and the Kaiser one comes in all different colors. I saw a red, white, and blue one. They come in silver, and they come in gold because a lot of us have gold tuners and things like that on our guitar. But the one that I don't have today that's very similar to the Kaiser is the Trigger by Dunlop. And that's an excellent one as well. It's a little strong for me. Sometimes the spring on that's so strong, and you have to be careful with capos that are too strong, especially if you have thinner strings. You might be bending them out of tune. And usually with the capo, you do bend your strings out of tune just slightly, but close enough for rock and roll, as we like to say. Another one that's similar in shape to the Kaiser, this is actually one that I got for my son for a birthday or Christmas, is by Planet Waves, and you'll notice that this one's got this big contraption on the top. It's actually adjustable. You can make it tighter or looser. But the cool thing about this one is that what is actually on this tuner, on this capo, is a tuner. And I don't know if you can see the flashing light there, but basically you put it on your headstock and you can tune your guitar up, and then when you're and then you could use it as a capo. So it kind of doubles as it does double as a capo or as a tuner, and it tells you when you're sharper or when you're flat. And then there's a couple really nice capos that I personally don't use in a worship setting because they're not real easy to take on and to put on and take off. But more than that, they don't really mount well to my headstock. In this one, a friend of mine, John Banks, my best friend, gave me this one. This is called the G7th. And this thing is like a $50 or $40 capo. It's pretty expensive, but it's so nice because adjustability wise, it's just got this real like simple way to adjust it. You could just push down, and when you just feel like you've got all the strings already set, then you're good. And then taking it off is pretty simple. You just kind of clip the back and it releases. But it's a little heavy, and I don't like to mount it to my headstock. It never kind of grips too well on my headstock. So this is one that I use at home when I'm not so concerned about quick transitions. But in worship, I don't really use it that much. And then another one that's a favorite for me at home, again, is by Shub. And this is called The One, I think the person that sold it to me said. And I really like this one. It kind of, they tried to mimic as best they could your finger being put on the guitar strings. You see most of these are kind of angled, and so that, it's maybe a little different form of contact with the strings. But this one is just so nice. But again, it's really not a practical one when it comes to worship because you set it, and then it's also adjustable. It's got a little bolt on the back that helps you to tighten it up exactly where you want it. I really enjoy using this. So there I got, the strings pretty much all clamped down nicely. I really enjoy using this one with I have an old Yamaha at home, and some of the stronger ones bend those strings because I use a little thinner string to keep my neck from going any further, and I also have it tuned down a half a step. So it's nice to have the Capo, especially when my son is playing or someone else is playing another guitar, just to make sure we're in the same key. But I really like this one. But again, it doesn't mount at all to the headstock. It just kind of, it doesn't mount to the headstock. So this one, if you're going to use it in a worship setting, you have to have some place to put it, and it just takes a little more effort to get it on the guitar. So again, my choice is the Kaisers, because they just mount so nicely on the headstock of the guitar, and then you put them wherever you want, take it off, move it up, move it down a fret. There's also another one that I don't have with me, actually, that I gave to John Banks, and that is the slider. That's kind of a nice one, but that one you basically set on the top of your strings just above your nut, and then you slide it down to where you want it to be. But that one basically stays on the guitar, and you never have to pull it off, put it back on. You just slide it from fret to fret. And if you're doing a lot of modulations, which we don't really do on my worship team, but if you're doing a lot of modulations in a song and you want to just keep going up and up and up on a song, the slider is the best way to go, because you just move it up and no one even sees you sliding it up, and all of a sudden you're changing keys. Hopefully that helps you out. Keep stopping back to wallsofgrace.com for more tips. God bless you.